Okay, I think we are live. Live in 4 hours? No. Allegedly, I'm streaming. I'm just waiting for the stream to pop up. There we go. Okay, cool. We are live. So today I'm going to be punching up my portfolio site, which is done in just raw HTML and CSS. The goal of this is to make it look a little bit nicer. I spent quite a bit of time yesterday doing this. And ideally, at the end of this, and I'm going to take down some notes. By the end of this, I want the following. I want to do portfolio site. What I want is, one, I want this to be mobile responsive. So when I load this on my phone, I want header and footer to be normal size. I want to fix the header, I want to fix the footer so it no longer cuts off content from my site. 3, I want to possibly add a gradient to the background. I don't know if I it would be nice just to make it look a little bit more professional and potentially add some animation. Maybe fade in text on index. That would be cool. And number 5, I think that's pretty good for now, but a little responsive. Header and footer need to be, that's probably 2 things actually. And finally, mobile responsive, header and footer, normal size, and that is actually more or less the mobile. Because the issue is when I go to mobile, my header and footer are just too small. I do remove the animation of the floating head that you see at the bottom, which I just love. I think that's so fun. Not too long ago, my site didn't look like this. So what I need to do, also I should probably say residing in Easton, PA. That would be nice as well. I did touch up the site. These were static buttons, and now I can do a mouse over, which is cool. Highlight page on header would be cool as well. And I have set up VS Code. I'm using WSL, so that's Windows Subsystem for Linux. I am serving my site to localhost 550 with the extension of live server. You could just bring in the HTML site into Chrome just based off the file path and just put that in the URL. I like, now that I've done this, it does a live reload whenever I hit save. So if I delete something, I hit save, the website reloads. I'll show it again. And I go back, once again, the website reloads. I have a couple links to some external stuff which I'm very proud of. My Digital Leech Finder, which is my web app that I spent a couple months on that shows you who isn't following you back on Instagram. I have my videos, which is the link to this very YouTube channel. My GitHub page, which all my things are sort of private at the moment, so there's not much to see, but my heat map for my upload schedules, it's not terrible. It could be better, could be worse. I'm pretty happy with it in terms of how much I've been coding as of late. Due to the nature of running a small business, it's been sort of alternating between periods of R&D, of coding, which is typically this stuff here, and then going back to actually managing my business. So that is marketing, that's creating tutorial videos, that's creating content for this YouTube channel, going back and forth. You can't do everything at once, and I find I'm more productive when I set a task, I push on that task for a period of time, then I jump back to, instead of constantly changing gears, because for me, might be a little bit of that ADHD brain, but I struggle with gear shifting consistently and quickly. So if I can get into something and I can chug on it for a while, I will be much more productive than I would be if I keep alternating back and forth between things constantly. So we're at the portfolio site. I want mobile responsive, fixed footer. Let's start easing our way into this, potentially adding a gradient to the background. I'm going to pick, let's see, CSS ground color gradient. That's nice. And I think I'll go like top left, bottom right. I'll have one gray and then a slightly darker gray, or slightly darker gray leading down to a slightly lighter gray, so the eye travels with you across the page. Although, I don't think I can have two background images. So I might have to, with the style sheet here, I have this background image, which is the face that goes from left to right. I might have to swap that out to a HTML element so that this this little guy, when he starts coming across, he's actually a physical part of the page instead of a background. So because this was a little bit of a hack. Let's bring this out for now, and let's just see how that gradient looks. With software development, it is a constant restructuring. It is a lot of one step forward, two steps back. And unfortunately, you can get to a close end state, but it's not quite there, and then you have to do a lot of work to kind of undo what you've done and then get back into it. So I'm going to steal this, so background image. I want linear gradient, and I have this gray right here, top left to bottom right, so that's what I want, to bottom right, and then I want my two grays, and like I said, I'm going to end on the lighter gray. I'm going to go to GIMP, I'm going to plug in the HTML value for the current gray that I'm looking at, which is this one right here. Hit OK. So this is the gray that I'm looking at right now, and I think I want this a little bit darker. Bring this over here. I kind of like the GIMP gray here. Like, these two colors are nice. I'm going for something similar to that, but I just want it a little bit darker. I'm going to drag it down. That might be nice. A9, A9, A9. D0, D0, D0 to A9, A9, A9. Get rid of that. So I'm starting dark, and then I'm getting light. That looks awful. So, in order to have the face scroll across, I have essentially colored all of my HTML elements, and this is once again that sort of hackiness showing its face. So I have a lot of CSS values that have their own background color. So instead, right here, so background color, this was so that the face was non-blocking with the text. If I undo these background colors, should look a lot better. Almost there. But that gradient is not smooth. Linear gradient. Where else is this showing up? So you have a background color and a background gradient, so that's not going to work. I think that might be a piece of what's happening here. No, that doesn't look great. Linear gradient, to bottom right, background image. So since this isn't quite working like I want it to, let's try 45 degrees. Let's see where that gets us. Still nothing. Interesting. What's going on with you? Alright, so the gradient's good. I just had, oh, okay. So the body isn't the full page. What I'm seeing here is I need to make my body the full page. And then I need a div to selectively shunt in my content in the middle here. I like my stream because I like myself. Hope you like me too. So instead of cheating here, I'm going to make the full background. Okay, so I think I can cheat a little bit here. I can have my, see, that doesn't look that bad. Instead of that. So this is the mobile responsiveness. So right now the background's taking up the full space. So this is what I want my gradient more or less to look like, but if I go too far, then that looks shitty. Let's see what we can do about that. So I have my index page. I have my header, I have my footer. Might be helpful if I start doing a little bit of a doodle in order to, so new page, 1920, 1080. I want my gradient. And then I want my header. And this is a good little tidbit. Whenever you find yourself sort of lost, going back to planning really helps a lot. So I have two of these now. This is my header, this is my footer. And I'm designing the layout of what I think my site should be. So I got a header, I got a footer, and what I want is my content to sort of take up this space here. So I want a full, let's do a new layer, background, cool, paste the layer, move this over, good. And I can merge these down because this is essentially what my site's going to look like. We have my content, which will take up about 50% here. So I want the full page, the body, to have that gradient going the entire way across. I then want, and I'm just going to mark this with a different color just so I can differentiate them. It's not actually going to look like this, but this will be my, and I will set this to white so I can see it. Content will be 50% of the page, unless mobile. So then it will be 100%. This is another good tidbit for coding. It's not all coding. A lot of coding is planning. Making sure that you're doing what you're doing and that you're not just spinning your wheels endlessly trying to be a script kiddie and writing code. What you want to do is make a plan and then stick to it. Get to it to completion, or get to a pause point where you think this plan is no longer working, I gotta pivot. Half of this job is just thinking and ideation and trying to figure it out. So, cool. Content, 50% on less mobile. I'm going to say no background. So ideally, if I'm trying to have this plus my face that goes across, I'm going to need two divs here, because one needs to be the gradient with my background image. And let's just say that. This text out here, this might not show up if it's out of the scope. Yeah. So one body div for gradient. I'm going to make that black. And then I'm going to have one copycat div for my animated face. Oop. Shrink these down a little bit. Cool. One here. And then I will have my header and footer. I really gotta do that. Cool. 50. The header's floating over copy body. I'm just gonna call it body double. Because I am hilarious. And the body double will be 100% of the I'm going to bring that to the top. I'm going to duplicate this layer, bring it down. I'm going to say that my footer is also floating over the body double. I'm going to lose something which makes me a little bit sad, but it's okay. Oh, and also I want content ends above the footer. And even if I scroll, the content will find its way above. And that's something I'm struggling to see on mobile right now. On the mobile version of my site, if you look at on your phone right now, or if I just go to my site and I go to mobile, I have some text down here that I'm not seeing. My header and footer aren't the right size. This is okay. I'm not super chuffed with it. It needs a bit more spice. And it would be cool if it goes animate, 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 ding, 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 ding. Just to give it, like I said, give it a little bit of spice. How we feeling in the chat? So the gradient's okay. I think I want a bit of a deeper color to it. I think it's a little too far. 89, where are you at? I want to see it, and I'm really not seeing it right now. So if I go back up to my thing, cool thing with VS Code, it actually shows you the colors within the actual page itself. So if I go back, get this full page, it's really not great. 45. Let's see if two bottom right looks better now. Yeah, that's better. It's a little dark. Maybe if I lighten up just a skosh. Let's try 9. 90. Nani the re? Serve that back up. Full screen it. Yeah, this seems about right. So now I need, come on, no, come on Windows, let's go, do your windowy thing. So like I said, I now need 2 divs. I got my body, which is going to be the gradient itself, and the body will take up 100% of the width. And there we go, background position. Oh, the background positioning, that's probably messing with it too. I need this for that did it. Cool. So the issue I was seeing was I was setting the background position to be shifted over, and that's for the whatchamacallit, the animated face at the bottom. Can I get some W's in chat for fixing my broke ass code? Cool. I kind of want to get rid of jQuery. I just don't like it. I'm going to move this over to, oh, that's another to-do. Update to JS. So I did add a gradient to the background. Don't just delete things from your to-do list when you finish. I'm going to call this my done pile. And I always like the green check. Emoji to just qualify it and, you know, reward yourself. Ah, it doesn't look great. I'm going to move this over to VS Code. No! Shit. Ah, damn. Alright, let's rewind the stream a little bit. Aha! Perfect. I want to mobile responsive. I want fix footer so it doesn't cut off. So it doesn't cut off contents. I want add gradient. I broke the site, so fix header to background color again. 5, animate text on load descending. 6, highlight the page on the header. And I'm going to have a done pile down here. Fix the gradient in the background. To-do.text. Cool. So I got my to-do.text. That'll just help me keep track of where I'm at. Add gradient to the background. That is complete. I'm going to grab my green check emoji that I love so dearly. Well, bam! I learned this from Charlie Is So Cool Like back in the day. Stamp your stuff. Always give it a little stampy stamp. I'm going to move myself over, actually, so that I'm not blocking the website, because that's probably the more important part. There we go. So I'm doing this all because I founded my own company, and someone who's interested in hiring me as a contractor, as someone to do a bit of work for them, wants to see what I'm capable of. So here we are. So let's try to fix my header. Check HTML with JavaScript. Let's see if there's a 2023 edition. Let's try JavaScript ES6. Alright, I'm not really interested in doing that right now. Let's go back, and I want my header. So where are you? It's my body, header. This should have a background color, and it shouldn't be inheriting. My header background color is here. Do I need to... Well, first let's pop this all in a div. Because I have a feeling that because it's being loaded, something's getting quirky with it. It's a hunch. I don't know if that's right or not, but we'll set the ID is equal to header. Yep, quotes. No, interesting. Background color isn't right, and I don't know why. Background. Oh, background image. I'm going to set that to none, so I'm overriding the gradient. Nope, that didn't do it. Weird. Background color should be overrated here. Header. Let's see, fill the header with this. Weird. For height. See, this is the thing. So instead of height, I want this to be 10 VH. Let's try 5. Okay. So let's see how that looks on mobile. That's better. Just the text size isn't correct. I want these to be the same size. Margin bottom, fine, that's fine. Font size. I want uniform font size throughout. I don't like the header here. this anywhere else? No. Right now I'm just sort of deleting and adding things to see what happens when I do different stuff. Wouldn't say I'm the best script boy. Oof, that's awful. That is tiny. Oh, the zoom is probably bad. Yeah, there we go. We're set. That's better. So we're getting there. Let's see if I remove the gradient. No, this is still mounted. That was it. Okay. Alright, there wasn't anything. It was just a mucked up comment. I'm going to set my header's view height to 5. 4? I guess 4 is fine. 4 is fine. So I'm going to set the view height to 4 for the header and the footer, which means my margin at the bottom needs to be 4VH. And I think that means if I do that, no. Okay. So this is good. That's fine. Cannot get games.html. I did not import that. Let me grab that real quick. Hello? Come on, darling. Okay. Connecting. Sick. Got it. I'm going to move. Where'd you go? Fuck it. I just don't feel like logging back in. You are outdated AF. Gotta clear the cache. Games. Just gonna grab the HTML from the site. Just gonna cheat. File. I'm just ripping this straight from my site. Let's try to load this up again. There we go. That's better. See, I don't like the footer still cutting off content. So I want my inner body. Ooh. where are we at? I want my, like I said, my body double, which is just how I'm going to beep, boop, boop, boop. Now, it would be, I think it would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? I might be able to get away with just having the index page have my background image. This index page, so all this stuff in here, right? So if these are both for VH, I want my body, essentially I want the content to be 92. Now, oh, oh, that's fun. So I don't want this to repeat. Which means, I mean, that's hilarious, but that's not what I want. No repeat. Sick. We're starting way off screen. Fingers crossed. There we go. Hello there. Nice. Sick. I can go to my games. I'm still cutting off stuff, unfortunately. If I really do this. Still cutting off things. I mean, this is pretty close to correct, which is nice. My oh, geez. See, that's the issue I was worried about. Alright, let's try this again. So I think I do need my body double. So that it doesn't just do a bit of it, I want it to do the whole page. This, and this. Got my body double, I'm gonna bust out. So I want my background image, and repeat all this stuff in here. Now, fingers crossed. Where'd gradient go? Where'd you go? No. So I want my background image to be linear gradient. It's going to go, let's see how 30 degrees looks like. And then I want my ending. And I also want my, right. I think I can just have this. And my other color was U. It was like 90, 90, 90. Nani? Nani? Hashtag 90, 90, 90. It's 30 degrees. Let's check 60, because I do want it descending. I go 90. I think that's right. I think 90 is going straight across. 30? 120? That's right. That's what I want. Sick. So I got a gradient. My background image is still entering the wrong place. Body double. The width, height and width should be 100%. Because I want it to be the full size of the page. Okay, that's fine. Now, body width 75, 75, 75. So what's going on here? These are not, oh, because I gotta do the display. And I want to align items center. And I want to align items center as well. That didn't do shit. Okay, it did. Cool. Now we're hovering right. I have my guy, and I want to start him out. That's not correct. Something's going on down here. Right, because I don't have the body double. So what I need to do is once again add the body double to the games page to surround. So this is my body double. I want this to punch out. And then I have all this stuff. Div, footer. Footer's in the right spot. This all has to go out. Column. There we go. We're close. We're getting close. Still a little gross. Actually, that's fine. Although I just don't enjoy where this is. I wish. Oh, so if I'm at under 1,000 pixels, that's why it's doing this. So I guess that's fine. Cool. So the gradients in the background, we're just going to call this 7, add back in the animated face, so that's done. I want to go shish. Games, that's fine. How do I get, I don't think I need this anymore. It's just extra code. Anytime you can get rid of extra code, do it. Super helpful. Less code means easier to debug, period. Full stop. So I have all this, all that. To-do list. What next? Right. I want this to never be obstructed. This specifically in here. Because my header index page Style sheet, index page. I am being a little cheeky here. I'm mixing classes and IDs. Ideally shouldn't be doing that, just for the sake of consistency. What's up, Berlin? How are you? How are you doing on this fine Wednesday? Just being a bit of a script kiddie, updating my portfolio website. I'm in talks with a small business social media company right now to prove my worth as a software developer, because they want me to do some WordPress work. I am a full stack senior developer. I'm not super well versed in HTML and CSS. I can get by and I can make web apps just fine, but more so out of functionality as opposed to prettiness. So this is me updating my portfolio site to show off and make myself more appealing as a hire to do this contract work, which I'm going to do through my own personal business. And I've gotten to the point where I've revamped my main site a little bit, cut out some of the fluff. These are all external links to the things I'm most proud of. I have my web app that I've built, the Digital Leech Finder, lets you see who's been following you back on Instagram. I got a link to this YouTube channel because I have 80-something videos. Oh no, did I lose a subscriber? Oh, that hurts. It's funny when you do something, then you just immediately lose subs. Always a little bit of a punch to the gut. Got my GitHub page, which shows my activity over time. I don't have some of my projects are private because they're actual business things, and security through obfuscation. I don't want my backend code being revealed for some stuff so it doesn't get attacked. Got my board game here, and I have a games list of the various game jams that I participated in and made some of these games. So this is the overview of my site as is. Background position bottom. I want to hide this guy a little bit more. So let's call this 30 seconds so it speeds up a little bit. So this is height, and this is width, this is height. Let's just see what happens if I do that. That's actually not going to show. Alright. So now it's showing at the bottom. Let's see. So if this is happening at the bottom of the page, and I go -4, +4, because we start at 0 and then we descend, +4VH. Let's see how that looks, because ideally I want my guy cool. And move this down here so it's a little easier to edit. Cool. Let's go 10. See how that looks. I'm trying to essentially just make it so his eyes very Jaws-like. Programming languages that are relevant now. Well, you can't really go wrong with anything, to be perfectly honest. The jobs that I've been looking for at the moment, I've seen C#, I've seen JavaScript, and I've seen Python and Golang. Those seem to be the main back-end languages. I also still see PHP and Rust. I would suggest starting with a dynamic language, just for the ease of easing into it. So JavaScript and Python are fairly ideal. I've been seeing a lot of startups moving over to Python, and the idea with Python is, as it's been described to me, is it's a glue language. So it's easy to get into. The syntax is very simple. It uses indentation to sort of block the text, so it's enforced in terms of its structure. Python's a good one to get into, and just JavaScript. Most of the web is built on JavaScript, and companies are slow. They don't want to spend the time, energy, and money into refactoring. So JavaScript is solid. Java's good. There's a lot of legacy code in Java, so you're gonna be able to find jobs with it. But it is strictly typed, so it might be a little harder to get into. You should understand typing, and you should understand what typing means. Just the basics of what the various types are. So when it comes to, are you in the know for what types are? I don't want to just start going off explaining if you already know this information. Let's see. Cool. So I got my guy at the bottom. I still am, unfortunately, I love that so much. But yeah, I did an interview in Java not too long ago. I got my butt handed to me because I was overconfident, and I just got wrecked. But it is out there, and there are Java jobs available. And the cool thing about certain languages like Java and C++ and Rust and PHP, there's certain languages that people are too afraid to touch, which makes your job security higher. Same thing, especially with like assembly and Cobalt. No one wants to learn assembly in Cobalt, but it is a bear to learn. So for a heightened level of upfront cost in terms of learning, the return is a higher level of job security, job availability, just because it's a hard role to fill, so you'll be in more demand, and you can probably get a little bit more leniency with your knowledge base just because the need is that high. I'm partial to JavaScript. I've worked at 2 separate companies that use JavaScript. It's not going anywhere for the time being. Web dev is it's a slow monolith that takes a while to shift between languages. Okay. Thank you, Berlin. I appreciate it. Very kind. And like I said, if you want me to dive into typing, I'm happy to explain a little bit about that stuff. Typed languages are nice due to their enforcement. They essentially prevent errors from trickling down based off of assumption. For JavaScript, a variable can literally mean anything. We have, let's say I say let v, which is a variable, is equal to 1. I can essentially just say v is equal to an array, and then next say v is equal to an object. Object. Yeah. Look at that. Using my Ergo doc, so I'm not. But essentially, these are 3 separate types of, I can say v is equal to a string after this, and JavaScript says this is perfectly legit and functional code. So at some point in your function, a variable might be equal to something. It might be equal to an object, and then some script kiddie sets it to and I'm not above being a script kiddie. I'm kind of being a script kiddie right now, making this site. You might try to iterate, which means go through if you're an object, you're not iterating. But if you switch to an array and you're iterating, which means I'm going through all the elements of an array, but it's a string, That'll break the code. So it's nice having types to enforce what a variable means. And that's the big reason that TypeScript got so popular. Just by enforcing types, you are more aware of what you're doing with the variables and why and how. So for those just joining, I am updating my website to... I have this social media company that I'm in talks right now that they want me to do some contract work for, but my website was fairly out of date. I can actually probably show you what it was prior to this, because my cache, yeah. So essentially we're going from this, which it's pretty bad. Yeah, there's no... People are sort of salivating over animations right now, that modern web material UI design, so I'm... You know, instead of having, thank you, man, I appreciate the subscription. So instead of just having static buttons, this is an unordered list of clicky things. I now mouse over, and there's a mouse over effect, very special. Instead of having this sort of descending, haiku-esque thing, I'm doing it looks better in full screen, but I have this instead where I have, I think this just looks a little bit nicer. It's okay. Ideally, I can add that to the to-do list. Nope. Where are you at? I want... I want my content div in middle of page still left justified. So this is 50% of the page. I guess I can shrink this down to I just want it to be the content, so let's see if I get rid of the width, if it just sucks in. So this is, where's my 50%? What are we doing here? What's going on here? I'm looking at my body, and I did a fun thing right here. I have my actual body, which is the content of my website. And then I have this, I think it's funny, I have a body double class, which is a div that's sitting exactly right on top, so I can have my earthbound style face slowly skate across the bottom, which I think is cute. Yeah, I would go with either Python or JavaScript. There's just a ton of content there's a ton of content online for doing backend development. I would just try to make a simple backend API and see how that works. I've done 6 years of JavaScript, so I'm more familiar with Node.js, but I've seen it sort of a coin flip of the current jobs on the market between Python and JavaScript. Excuse me. Actually, that's probably why. If I do line items center, so I have a flexbox here. Where are we at? This is my index page. I want to align my column of items in that flexbox. Eesh, what are you doing? Ugh. Gross. I think I'm overwriting too much down. That'll do it. Bam. So this should be the dot body double, because I don't want to have this animate on mobile. There we go. Now that's working great. I don't want to promise you that you're going to be able to find a job easily with Python because the job market's pretty awful right now. I'm lucky enough where I've had enough industry experience that I can sort of plug and play into any, at least JavaScript shop. I interviewed and got to the final round of a Python shop not too long ago, but I didn't get the job because I don't have the JavaScript experience. I don't have the Python experience. So I don't want to make any promises. You're going to have to, this is my dad talking right now. You don't have to be the best. You have to be better than the other guy. And it is a competition, and you have to stand out from the crowd if you want the roles that are available. And if you have zero industry experience, like if you're just learning a language now, you might want to look into data entry or QA testing in order to sort of sponge up the code bases that you see, because you suck right now. That's just the nature of the beast. If you've never done something, you're going to suck at it. I suck at a ton of things, but there's a few things that I've spent years and years of my life on, and I suck less at them now. And you need to acknowledge that this is going to be a hard process. You're especially going to have to go through a couple of ego deaths of what you think you are and where you want to be. And you have to allow your ego to just take the punches of, I need to improve here, I need to fix this, I need to get better at this. Now, it's not a negative. There's nothing wrong with being bad at anything. You just need to put in the work in order to get to the next level. So look for internships. As much as it sucks, sometimes it's worth just getting an unpaid thing for the time being, especially if you're living with your parents. If you can offset, if you don't have to like pay for rent, an internship is very useful at this point in your life to learn the patterns. All right, Berlin. It was nice having you in the chat. Best of luck. Come back sometime, and if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Let's see, I've always wanted to learn programming, but I always tend to overwhelm myself, take a break, and not bother for a while. Then it's like you're starting over again. That's what it feels like. Unfortunately, it's like learning how to ride a bicycle. You're going to fall, and you're going to fall, and you're going to fall and fall and fall and fall over and over and over again until eventually it just clicks. And it's just hours. It's hours in front of the keyboard, hours coding. There's no getting around that, unfortunately. Every time you do it, you do get a little bit better, but unfortunately sometimes it's just so micro, it's such incremental change you won't even notice. But one of the best ways to see how to get better is code and save progress. It's like a video game. Sometimes it's cool to just look back in time and see where you were, just to see how far you've gotten. So I'm going to go to my GitHub page right now. Let's see. AWS child DB populator. This is a repo I made for a job. Well, let's see how many years ago. My last commit, 7 years ago. And I made it in Java. I forgot that I did this in Java. I don't know Java. I don't remember Java at all. And I got to try catch here. So I have my main that I enter here in my app. This is the main entry point for this thing. I connect to a Java database, the JDBC protocol, a MySQL database. I don't even use MySQL. I use Postgres almost exclusively. User and password. This is awful. You should not have credentials in strings in your database. They should be environment variables so that you can commit them to any repository, and then the environment that your code is launched to will pick up the variables as opposed to them being plain text. Plain text, bad. Bad, no, bad. Create a connection. This is fine, having MySQL calls that just sort of exist in the string, and then you execute against the code base. And that's what it is. But there's just little things, like I said, having plain text credentials, terrible idea. Never do that. Bad, bad, bad. No, no, no. Generate random string. It's all stuff. And it's like going to the gym. You get better when you go. Period. Full stop. Where are we at in my... Alright. Highlight page on Hannah. Alright. So I got my thing here. I'm going to go to mobile. This is pretty bad. Not a fan of that. But let's just focus on the desktop first, and then we'll move over to the mobile next. And ideally I want to get this out in the next day or two so that I can submit this and get back in communicado with this person I'm talking to for a job. Alright, so my index page, let's see what the leading div is for this stuff. It's index page. So I want to align my items in index page in the center. There we go. That's a lot better. Sometimes it just takes the littlest things, but they make a big difference every little bit that you add. Cool. How does that look on mobile? Pretty bad. Whoa, that's crazy. What's happening on the games page here? Body double, header, call. So call, I'm aligning my things to the left. My body double. I think I can just pop, instead of having an additional alignment piece here, I think I can pop a flex box on this. Go back to home. No, I fixed it. Cool. Sick. I just want to bias this towards the top because this is a lot of blank space up here. Just forgot. So I need to vertically align my content. So if I do this, get rid of that. Cool, don't need that. Anytime you can delete code is a good time. Justify content center. This is what's probably getting me. Nice, that's better. So I'm at my index page. I jump into the site. The index page loads. Go to my games. This isn't right. So my style sheet, I got my body double, center, column. What are you? What's happening? What's going on? Alright, so these are the full width, which is what I don't want. Now, header, body double. For some reason, I guess the column is messing with this, so if I delete you, do you get better? Not quite. There's a great Jonathan Blow quote that the shape of a problem doesn't start anywhere. Literally do anything, you're on the right path. There's no correct answer, there's no... I definitely get stuck in analysis paralysis where I have this idea of what it should be, how this should look, what I'm doing, and at a certain point you just gotta... There's a great quote from one of the Game Grumps guys, Dan Avedon, of the F-it adjustment. And sometimes you just gotta say F-it and just start essentially taking a dump on the page and seeing what happens. And then you just smear the crap around for a while, and eventually it starts to look like art. That's it. Alright, this didn't fix it at all. So I got my head, body double, it's the full page. Body double's the full page. My header. This sucks. What are you doing? These show because the H3 is what's killing it. Because my H3 says the width has to be 100%. So if I bump these up to H2s, they're probably better. Yeah, H2 is fine. So I'm going to Control F, find and replace. One of the best things in all computer science. Beep, beep. Didn't do a thing. I do like the size better now. Nice, another Game Grumps fan. I got to see Game Grumps live once in Brooklyn, and that was sick. Haven't kept up with them too much in recent years, but I do. They're like a warm blanket when it comes to content. I just like their stuff. Div call, okay. So these calls, I think, are messing with it, because if I look back, okay. I crave the certainty of steel. I don't know if you ever played Mechanicus. It's a It's a dope game. It's based on the Warhammer 400k universe, and as a software developer, I relate. There we go. That's a lot better. I relate very much to trusting the certainty of steel. All right, this ain't bad. That sucks. But this is pretty good. So we're making progress. Just to save my progress, I'm going to drop these three back on my website. And this is very ScriptKitty-esque, but I'm just going to my file manager. I'm just going to open up. These files live, copy paste the code in. The wild thing about code is it's sort of just the same everywhere. Like a website's just a server, and you're just calling an address like a file location on your computer, and you're just loading a file. It's all just moving files around. So now if I go to my actual website, it should mimic the same structure. Cool. That could be a little better, but whatever, that's fine. Cool. This is a little gross, I'll fix that next. But we've made progress, and let's see where we're at. Fix that. Pop on those emojis so that you feel good. That's done. Have a plan. And when you make progress on the plan, remember it, just for your own sanity's sake. All right. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. Right. So I don't think I want that 100% view height. Header and footer are fine. Margin bottom, page. Where is my a little dumb when it comes to there we go. When it comes to HTML and CSS, hence why I'm doing this here. I tend to host a lot of game servers for me and my friends, and one of the projects I've been toying with is a modular server manager in Python. It, as usual, gets overwhelming. I get that. When it comes to overwhelm, I try to refactor. And I kind of, it's a gut feeling sort of thing, but when I start to get overwhelmed and like, oh, this is starting to get gross, this is starting to get too much, I don't know if I can keep all this in my brain anymore, that's a good indicator that it's time to start breaking things into files. So if you're just having a sort of one-page monolithic, all my code is in this one file, make a util folder, make a library folder, make a const folder. The less code that you see on the screen, for me, the better. The better I'm at understanding it. Like even this CSS file, I should probably have a global CSS, and then I should have a CSS per page. I'm only really dealing with 2 pages here right now. My home, which is my about myself, and then I have my games, which is just a highlight of all the game jams that I've participated in. Cutting up your code base into files helps your sanity, and for me, that just helps me retain everything a lot better. Like every file in your code base should have a purpose. And yeah, I do agree. It does feel nice when it all sort of clicks together. Like this is so much nicer than where my site was at even 2 days ago. It's just night and day. I got this, I got all this stuff that's sort of outdated. I have a YouTube channel I haven't touched in 4 years at this point. I do love this page. Yeah. I did this back in college with an engineering friend of mine who basically carried me to my computer engineering degree. Nice. Sick. What game were you doing for that server manager? That's super cool. Do you do any of the hosting? Is it like an AWS or a render thing? I'm going to change these over to a class just so it's consistent. I'm not going between IDs. And I don't think I have a call anymore. That's fine to delete. Break that. So header. This goes to the dot header, dot footer. Nope. These need to be IDs. Never mind. This is another good little tidbit. Whenever you make changes, test them immediately. Don't build your whole thing all at once and then like try to get back into it, because then it could literally be breaking anywhere. Always do a little bit, see if it works. Do a little bit, see if it works. Do a little bit, see if it works. Let's see. Looks like now only on hardware, nice. Arc Survival, nice. Natural Selection too, my gosh. Based games. Good choices, man. Natural Selection 2, is that? Nice. I remember someone talking about this, some YouTuber. I forget which one. Good choices, man. I'm surprised seeing Arc. I don't see that many people play it. Good for you, though. this kind of thing? I don't know what I'm doing. Nope. There we go. That's better. Nice. Cool. Now that's gross. So I seem to be losing my gradient. Which sucks. And this sucks too. Why are you in the center? Is there something I'm doing here? I guess I gotta pop this in a div. Chuck it in a div. See what happens. Nope. What are you doing? Stop that. Get some help. That sucks. Let's see my VH. Display block. Why are you display block? So if I'm right, this div, display flex, hit from body. That's weird. This is display flex. Yeah, back then it was pretty popular. I hosted because the usual servers or hosts kind of sucked. I don't collect the best time the system ran on it. So much yeah, having your own dedicated hardware, it's a bear. I ran a Minecraft server on a POS Dell that I had, and it worked marginally better than a server itself. So good on you for doing that. Let's call this my iframe. Ugh, gross. I'm debating moving over to Vim bindings just because it just feels embarrassing after a while. Only doing That's not terrible. Yeah, I do want this here. I lost track of what I'm doing here. Double center. So I want this to be in the center of this, right, because this has to be aligned to the left. So I'm already aligning all my divs in the center of this, but this has to be the leftmost portion. So that, yeah, almost had it. This sucks. Valid profit. Stargaze. Funnily enough, I've been hosting a Palworld server and playing on the same system. Nice. The Ryzen CPUs are shockingly good for how, you know, for the price tag. I was so excited for a 1700X when it first came out. As long as it's going strong, don't crave the greener pastures. Save your money. How is Palworld? I've seen some of my friends playing it. It does look interesting. I haven't really touched Pokemon though since Soul Silver, I believe. I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed with it. Especially the X, since I was able to overclock. Come on, alright. Let's say effort. See, this is interesting. So I'm centering things, and then I'm doing a text align to the left, but this is centered, and I can't text align a div. So display, what are we talking about here? Display position, absolute. No, absolute might. This might be wrong. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not right at all. Body, want that div 3, float left, that's what I want. I'm a dingus. Get over here. So, Palworld is actually pretty good, specifically for the price. Fun friends, but they have weird guild system. You need to be in a guild to share your stuff, but you have to grind up good price to life. More bases and flexing that. Block some other people from making their own guild. Interesting. Huh. Come on, you motherfucker. Oh God, I think I need I need a containing div for this stuff. I hate this. Or I can cheat. And I can just essentially say width is 75. I can set the width to 50. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to set U to 50. Percent. That's what I gotta get. Need to be in a couple of See, this is the ever-present problem. Fix one thing, break two things. Alright, so I need a start a base and have a few things I'm gonna drink. Ah, that's annoying. We'll be right back. Just use the restroom. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. That's why programming, it's not really a test of intelligence, it's more a test of patience. Alright, so instead of all this, H2 with 40%. So I think I need to make a containing div. So my header, I think I do need a containing div for this. I can set to the appropriate width. And this is class, set this to content. Patience and sanity indeed. So I want let's say content let's say this has a width of 75. Let's call it 70%. It seems webby enough. Nice. So everything's aligned properly still, so that's cool. But I still want my I want the content in the middle. Where'd you go? Give me that inspect window. There you go. And that seems about right. This is weird. So the text line isn't working properly. that didn't load. What are you doing? Ah. That's not terrible, actually. Like, it's not what I made, but... So it didn't inherit the... style from this, so I need instead my content to have the same structure as my body double. I'll bring this up actually. Bring this down. And I'll say the same thing. Align my items. Center start. There we go. That's better. Still sucks. So I need to... Alright. We're making progress. I need to, for my content, align this... Get over it. This is where my my second monitor breaks. So that's why it does that. But I want to... my body double. So I'm going from my body double to my content. I want to align my items to the center. So I don't know why that doesn't justify content. That's not right. So that is okay. All right. So I want the width to be equal to the biggest div, which is 1,000 pixels. And is that the same on mobile? No, it is not. Woof. Yeah, it's only 600 some odd pixels. I still got this little idiot. So this is too wide. With max content. There we go. That should do it. Well, see, that's a thing. I am being a bit of a script kiddie here, just farting around till stuff works, but this is how you do it. Or one way to do it, at least. Okay. Yeah. That's not bad. Alright. And now just this is a little big. So I'm going to want to break right here. So find that, and you. I'll add a break. There we go. That looks so much better. Except for this crap. Alright, so my next issue. Cool. So if I go to this, what size is this font? Yeah, that sucks. I want this even bigger. Let's try font size 30. That's about right in terms of sizing, but I need to wrap my content. And that's not right, that's not right. There's a TM. to wrap my content. Also, the background isn't working quite right. HTML, color, text. CSS text wrap. And we'll wrap it so that it doesn't do this. The body. Let's see if that does anything. Woof. That's awful. Right here. I guess I need to do it all the way down here in the content. And you're probably busted, yep. So I will wrap the games as well in a content div. Footer. Better, not the best. This needs a break, as does Game of Life. /dink. Well, there we go. There we go. Now it's a little bit more sane. All right. Sick. That's pretty good. This still sucks. We're definitely getting closer though. So now I want, the important thing is being able to vocalize in English the thing you want, because if you can ask the right question in English, thanks especially to LLMs, you can get a sane response now. So I want my body here, my div body double. This should extend the full page. I think I need to also add padding for the size of my body height. So it goes body to content, and content I think needs a full height as well. Maybe. Nope. Oh, the body double, exactly. The body double doesn't extend down fully, so height's 100%. What are you doing? Yeah, why is she extending 100%? HTML isn't 100% either. Wild. Right. So, under my HTML tag, I need height to be 100% and my width as well. That is better. We have a slight gradient. Got the guy at the bottom. Still, unfortunately, not making it all the way down there, but that's fine. CSS overflow scroll. Cool. I think this is what we need. Don't quote me on that. Oof. That sucks. Yeah, GPT-4 is great. I built a backend for a web app in like 2 days in Python, thanks to GPT-4. And I'm only really familiar with JavaScript. But for this web app here, COT, let me, site, and I just reused the front end for my other web app. So I just stole this login modal from that. I'm gonna sign in real quick. It's gonna take a sec because I'm using a free tier on render, which means that the web app goes nighty-night whenever I'm not using it. See, when it comes to the look what I made stuff, that is incredibly important. Being able to see and feel progress really helps push away discouragement, in my opinion. If I can build something and see it functional, I get way less discouraged. And if you think about it, it's what you really need to learn, and the things that I've learned from being in the industry and working in quote-unquote enterprises, more startup stuff, is you need to learn the patterns, and the patterns you can take to any language. So the classic pattern, let's see if I can find where I did this image, somewhere around here. But the classic pattern of the classic web app structure is front end, back end, database. This BS right here. Where are you at? This is most of the internet. There's a front end, which is your website. There's a back end, which is an API that you send commands from the website to say, all right, give me this, give me that, and you have a sort of conversation with a back end server, and then that talks to a database, which is the persistent storage. This is it. But seeing this picture and seeing it in code are totally different things. I thankfully learned from a very smart guy who taught me the sort of ins and outs of how this looks in a code base and how to break it up sanely so that you're not overwhelming yourself with massive files. The great thing about GPT is if you can make it functional, then you can then ingest what the code base should look like so that when you get to the job market, you're not blindsided and you actually know what you're expected to code, and when you enter a code base, you know what does what and where. So I think it's a great thing. It's definitely a script kiddie-esque thing, and you do lose the learning process a little bit. Being able to actually understand the docs and understand what you're doing, that'll help you a lot in the interview. That'll help you a lot in conversations. There's a lot of jargon that happens when programmers talk to each other. Time complexity, space complexity, deterministic, non-deterministic, dynamic programming, graphs, trees, nodes, traversal, depth first search, breadth first search, Dijkstra's algorithm. There's all these things that if you're just being a script kiddie, you won't understand the meat of what you're doing, and that's why getting, for me, a computer engineering degree really helped a lot. just by seeing how everything works under the hood. Because when you know how everything generally works under the hood, the language, you can be language agnostic. It'll take you 2 to 5 times as long to do something in a language that you're not familiar with, but you still can do it. So I like it. And if you're up and coming, it's a wonderful asset to have. So this is my web app, and the backend for this web app is Python, and I've never made a Python API before. And I was essentially able to just have a conversation with ChatGPT to build the file structure, build the database models, the schemas. I use Fast API, which is amazing, super great. I love Fast API. For every route that you make, it creates a Swagger doc. And when I was working at 2 startups ago, I maintained a Swagger doc by myself. Fast API does it for you automatically, and you can hit database stuff. You can hit the API just via a web page. It's actually super cool. If I go to my backend API, let me pop up a new thing here. Chain of thought, the backend, the main.py. If I get this thing running, and I'll just do bash run.sh. Never mind, that's on my other computer. Let's go back to ChatGPT because that's where I got all of this. I'm actually going to make 2 files super quick here. I'm going to do build.sh, and I'm going to do a run.sh, just so I have these. This is the run command. I am doing a bin/bash, bin/bash. Is that right? Oh god. Bash, where's the line? Yep, user, extension. I don't even think this is necessary. And I'm just going to chmod this real quick. 700 run.sh. So I will then bash run.sh. I might need that. No, there we go. It works. Sick. Expected URL. There we go. That's better. I basically didn't write this thing. Oh, come on. Oh, because I don't think I have the environment variables. Yep. I gotta grab the environment variables real quick and load them in. Apologies, 1 sec. I'm gonna pop over to render, grab my envars. And environment variables, I didn't even see them until my first startup. I didn't know about them, I didn't know what they did. The great thing about programming is you just need to know enough. You don't have to know it all right at the get-go. You just have to learn enough to get you through the door, and then you can learn on the job. And thanks to ChatGPT, you can learn a lot before the job. Setting up my environment variables, save. I'm going to fix my build script as well real quick. Which is requirements. And the cool thing is you start to see similarities between languages. So in Node, the command for, where are you at? Get over your terminal. The command for installing your dependencies is an npm-i, which is npm node package manager install. When it comes to Python, I'm actually going to populate this build script real quick, just so I have access to it. It's pip install -r requirements. So this should be good to go. And I run.sh to-do design doc. And I always have a to-do, a design doc, some way of keeping track of what I'm doing. So I'm going to do bash build.sh, and this will install the requirements necessary. And then I will do bash run.sh, and this should grab my environment variables if I set up .env right. We'll see. Nope, didn't do it. Expected string URL.none.env main. I have a settings notice the get end. So those didn't work. I'm just going to export them real quick to my path. And I'm being a script kiddie again here. Python environment variables. I thought I did have a... Oh, I don't. Actually, let me check my laptop. I might have this all set up and I just never pushed the code from my other code base. Alright, we still here? Because I, didn't grab the latest requirements portion, and B, the file can't be .env. The file actually needs to be config.env. Now let's try to run it again. Still nothing. Dang. Oh, I'm a little dummy. Yeah, RoboBuddy's dope. RoboBuddy is a good guy. I've heard better reviews about GitHub Copilot, and especially for more purposeful languages. With JavaScript and Python, the code gets a little muddier when it comes to like R or Rust, more granular languages with a higher skill level of user, the code tends to be cleaner. All right. So I want to load os.environ. So I need .env. So from .env load. Install python.env. So I'm going to add that to my requirements because I just don't want to have to do this again. Python.env. Cool. Next, I go to my settings, and I just want to make sure I'm not pwning myself here. And I'm going to add this line right here from .env, load.env. So I need to bash, and on the other thing I called this install.sh. So we're going to bash install to grab.env. Then we're going to bash run. Still nothing. Dang. Oh, does it have to be? It has to be env.env, not config.env. There we go. We're in. Nice. Figured it out. So it's always 99% of the job is typos and misspellings. I think when I was at startup 2 startups ago, I spent about 70% of my time converting variables from camel case to underscore case. It drove me up a fucking wall. I didn't want to do it dynamically because dynamically creating variables is it just feels wrong. So every variable that went to and from the front end demanded all variables be in camel case, the back end demanded all variables be in underscore case to match the structure of the database. What we probably should have done was have database models that convert everything to camel case as they come out of the database, as opposed and just having consistent variable names between the back end and front end. But you know, live and learn, and once you start down a path, it's hard to change. What's kind of neat is I've been using custom Tinker for my GUIs, and I gave GPT-4 a link to the documentation. It went from being terrible at it to suddenly fully capable after 30 seconds of scanning it. Yeah, that's if you give GPT source material, it stays better in the ballpark of what you ask it to do. It's very cool stuff. The funny thing is, when it comes to LLMs and hallucinating, if you ask it to do something, it was trained on the internet, and the internet's full of a lot of armchair experts that have no idea what they're talking about. So it'll give you answers with a lot of confidence, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're correct. But if you give them that sort of like source and say this is what you're essentially pulling from, LLMs are a predictive model of whatever sentence you give it. It predicts what's the most likely word to come next, and then from that word, what's the most likely word to come next from that, and everything that came prior, and so on and so on and so on as you build it out. It's so funny. Ugh. Nice. All right, env worked, and the thing I wanted to show is, so we're on localhost 8000 for my Python, and I'd never made a Python API before. So if I go to localhost/docs, what we pull up here is Fast API's Swagger UI. It looks a lot like Swagger. It might not be Swagger exactly, but Swagger essentially looks like this. Swagger takes JS doc comments and converts them into a doc that looks like this so that you can call things. And these A lot of these routes are locked off by an authentication token. So in order to log into a backend web app, you submit a username and a password, and the password is salted and hashed against some sort of cryptography algorithm that exists in the database. I do think, yeah, it has some time before it gets scary good. I think a lot of the reason why layoffs are happening so rapidly in the tech space is the tech bubble is sort of popping again like it did in the early 2000s. But a lot of companies are overestimating just how much work a senior dev can do with an LLM. They ideally just want to replace the entire workforce with machines if they could, but I don't think it's quite there yet. And I think eventually, in like 6 months to a year, the layoffs are going to bite these companies in the ass. But there is a cool thing happening right now when it comes to using LLMs, where in some research settings, there's sort of a top-level director AI, and then it communicates with a few purpose-built AIs that are like coding specific or data centric specific. The director, if you give it a prompt, will figure out what needs to happen to complete the prompt, and then it will communicate to each purpose-built AI to solve different issues for it in a more purpose-built way. So you need to make some code, it'll hit the code LLM. You need to like make a data model, do some data analysis, you hit the data LLM, and then it returns the values up to the director, and the director wraps everything up into a singular report. Super cool. And that's sort of just how a business functions. There's one person at the top driving the ship, but then someone's got to manage the engine, someone's got to be the lookout, someone has to steer. The director states the destination, and then all the worker bees do their job to help the ship get there. Super cool stuff. So, with OpenAI, with Fast API, you can put in a username and password. I'm going to hide that real quick. I don't want you getting into my writings. As a one-off, I'm building cool, and I have authorized myself. I built over like a year or two ago at this point, this guy. This is I call it an e-writer. So you plug in a keyboard into this, you turn it on. It's a Raspberry Pi with a cell phone battery charger and an e-ink screen. And I just type endlessly onto it. I got a ton of notes on this thing. But in order to get the notes off of it, I had to SSH into it. So using ChatGPT, I made this backend. I took a front end from a different web app and did that. And then finally, I put a post call on this with an API token. So this hits my Python backend and populates the database with my writings. So I can then grab it from a web app instead of having to SSH into every time. And the coding for this portion, the web app, the Python backend, and like the post call on the Raspberry Pi, all written by ChatGPT. I did basically nothing. Just a couple little typos here and there that I had to fix for it. Super, super cool. But if I want to grab my uploads, I can authorize the call in advance. So I have the bearer token for my user, which I need to have to hit these authorized routes. And that just looks like, I go to main. In the middleware, it just looks like this. Users, no, token, no, upload key. So if I want to authorize the call, I just need to have this thing right here. It depends. You know, if this user's JWT token matches what the backend expects, then it allows the user it allows the backend to hit this function and then send the response to whoever requested it. For the upload key, I don't, there is an upload key that exists in the database. It's not authorized because the ways of authorization typically are like a login token, or you have a very long string of characters that is restricted to a certain device. And that's how I hit this upload route to upload my writings. And then to get the writings, I have a get with which uses that JWT token, and then I decode the JWT token in order to get my user ID, and I retrieve all writings for the user ID, and that looks like this. If I try it out, execute, I already have my JWT token in here. I send a GET request to this URL /uploads on my local host with the JWT token as a bearer token, and I get the user ID from the JWT token, go to the database, retrieve all writings that are for this user, and then send them back. Super, super cool stuff. Like I said, this was 90% ChatGPT, so if you're getting into Python, great thing. Well, I'm going to have to change that token now. Whoops. Let me update that real quick. Save that. Ruh-roh. This is the danger of streaming stuff. There's always the accidental potentially doxing yourself. Never fun. Alright, let's get back to it. So I got this dumb overflow thing here, and that's wrong too. Body double needs to have the height that matches the body. Yeah, you can definitely accelerate how quickly you can move with ChatGPT or Copilot. Both really great options. Shut this down. It's okay. Nothing too dangerous got leaked, so we're good. And I've already fixed it. So my content needs a text wrap. Because for some reason you're not wrapping. Still not wrapping. Something I've said in here doesn't like it. And I don't. Now I'm cutting off. Woof. It's some. The text wrap really jank it up that bad? What did I do? What's the max content for that? Oh, it's the overflow scroll maybe? So that VH isn't working right. This is wrong. Right. Let's call these 5%. That's fine. The view height's sort of breaking it. That's fine. Height of the footer, let's call it 5%. So these aren't centered, which isn't great. That's not great either. I'm still chopping off the last line of text. My body double isn't covering the full height. It's my body. These, that's fine. That's all right. We're making progress. The text wrap still isn't working. And my overflow. That's annoying. I have two scrollers now. I think I need a padding to my content body. And I set those to 5%. Nice. Okay. So this is okay. That sucks. That's fine. That sucks. We're getting there. We have a second scroll here, which is annoying. So maybe I need to move the overflow from my, there we go. That's better. Making progress. Content, body. It's my body double. The width needs to, height and width needs to be inherited. Actually, I don't do that, then it should just work fine. Okay. Body's alright. Body double's okay. But body isn't extending the entire way. For some reason, it's stuck here. And these aren't good either. Seem to be a little more expensive to have their own. Yeah, no, programming's all about filling in the gaps. There's an infinite number of things to learn, and you got to keep that constant learning mindset. I only know so much. I know the stuff that I've learned, and I've been mostly a back-end dev over the years. I've been I really dealt a lot with microservices, APIs, and databases. This front-end stuff, I'm less fresh with it. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, I got paid enough. I've gotten multiple six-figure salaries from just being a back-end Postgres dev. That's plenty in order to be in the job market. But if I really want to describe myself as a full-stack dev, then I need to emphasize my abilities across the platform from front to back. body double's wrong. The width isn't correct. So width, height. To be inherited. Just so. No, sanity's sake. Make sure that's fine. Cool. That's weird. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, because I think the scroll bar is blocking. So instead, I'm going to say my body's width is going to be 99%. So I'll get rid of that scroll bar. Yeah, a little bit of a hack, but hacking's fine. We're a bunch of hackers. Same thing, body double. I'm going to inherit both of these. And now the gradient should go to the bottom. Nope, not yet. HTML body. Body doesn't extend all the way down. Let's call that 100 again. See if that fixes it. Oh my god. Call these both 100. See if that does anything. Oh my god. This is so frustrating. I hate this. Nice. Good for your buddy. Always wanted to go to Germany. It'd be nice to see my roots. Oh no, I'm cutting all this shit. Dang. Ugh, God. I hate HTML CSS. This is why I became a backend dev. It's so blech. I just hate doing this. I'm not having fun. Body double. Let's see if I just nix this. I'll figure out the animation later. What's wrong? Let's see what this does. See, if you ever get a chance to visit Ireland, I'd recommend. It is lovely. It's so green. It's definitely strange. It used to be sort of tropical, apparently, like thousands of years ago. And there's no trees. The whole place was just mowed down by the British in order to convert the whole thing into farmland for England. Bit of Irish pride here. Allegedly, during the potato famine, the island was producing tons of food. Just the British was stealing it all, and the only thing left over was the potatoes for those filthy Irishmen, and the potato blight killed them all. So that's why a lot of people came over. The population never has actually recovered from the potato famine, and there's more Irish people in America than there are in Ireland now. Fun little tidbits. Oh, God. Oh, I love me some taters, too. Ya boy likes some taters. I don't feel like doing this. Chat GPT. One day it will be done. Get a dev job. At least right now, the salaries are good enough where you can afford those sorts of vacations. I'm just gonna cheat here. Yeah, the advent of remote work's pretty cool. So I'm gonna cheat here. And I'm going to just drop this into ChatGPT. Like, this would be a good excuse to get Copilot right here. But instead, all I'm going to do is drop this stuff. I'm going to drop this in. There we go. Robo Buddy! Save me in my time of need. I'm a dumb little idiot. So I'll pop this in the script portion. Robo Buddy, Robo Buddy, Robo Buddy. Yeah, exactly. Work smarter, not harder. Alright, height. Alright. Remove. Alright, remove the height from here. Set the height to auto. position to relative. See, I'm not learning anything. I'm just, footer, position fixed, position relative. Ooh, that's not bad. Now the width does need to be 100%. Ah. Robo buddy, robo buddy. Sticky footer. I just went back. I'll thank it when it works. I always try to be kind to my tech. You know, it's like there's a piece of soul from whoever made it is in that thing. So let's try this. Up to 100%. Height auto. Position relative. See, it's like it's decent, but it's still not quite there. See, this is what I mean about the confidence. It min height to 100% and body height to 100 each. Okay. Auto. So height and width 100%. Let's see if this works. Height and width 100%. Body. Overflow Y. Auto mid height 100 each. still not working right. Like, this is fine, it works, but I'm still... Alright, so I might just cheat here and just not put it at the bottom. We'll just call height, call that height auto, and we will make sure the footer's width is 100%. No, I just call it there. Oh, damn. Ugh, I hate this. So the body, I remove min height overflow y at 91%. See? I love RoboBuddy, but RoboBuddy didn't fix my thing. This isn't correct. And this is bad. I think I need to just jump in a break here. No, that's gross. Content. So I'm going to undo the content fix because that's not working. Height auto seemed to work fine. Okay, we're getting there. That's good, that's good. Gradient's working fine. All this stuff works okay. I want to float my text in the center here. So my vertical line, text line center for my header and footer, is that the fix? No. At least the header and the footer are the right size. Why am my body double? That's fun, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. I think if I have I think I can just have an absolute div of my little guy going across. I'll just call him because this is okay. This is basically good enough. The only last little bit needs to be... Have I made my own GPT yet? Yeah, I did the... On Fireship there's an option to essentially fork the latest LLM, and I use Olama on the Linux side of this PC, and I did the Dolphin version because I wanted to... I hate the safeguards. I hate when Mommy Dearest tells you what you can and can't do with your code. So I showed it how to... I asked it how to make some things that I shouldn't know how to make, and it was cool and educational. But the main thing I like having it for is I got it to write the basic outline of an erotic novel, and I feel like if I could have AI generate an erotic novels for me, it's in such a niche where it's going to be tough for AI to someone who's not knowledgeable in the field of AI to do the same thing. So I got it in my head that I could essentially make a bunch of AI generated erotic novels and sell them on Amazon, and hopefully make some cash on the side with that. So yeah, I have. Ugh. Quite funny. Alright, so I want this if content with max content. So this has to be if content width can't do that and that can. So I think width is 70% for body double. And then width is going to be 100%. That's better. Cool. Now I've basically made this thing mobile ready, minus this buoy right here. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm just so close to done, I'm just going to brute force this until it works, though. Nice. That's better. Okay. So I want body double with 100%. Or I want it to inherit that 99%. This is going to be 98. Alright, last little bit. I gotta get this. I wonder if that already exists though in the custom GPTs. HTML CSS builder, CSS wizard. Ooh. Good idea. It's the wonderful thing in computational world. So much work has been done for you. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. Alright, if I go to inspect, come here. There you are. That's a little gross. It's not ideal. It works on desktop. I have a better idea. Like I said, cheat where you can. I was thinking about making a whole different tag for my little animated guy, but instead, for this animation, so I think this goes height and width, I'm just gonna say, we'll see if this is right, but just go across the page. Look at that. Oh, because I'm going negative to negative. I need to go positive. Let's try this. Nope, that was width. That was wrong. So this needs to go from percent plus 500. I think this is right. Nope. Oh, what were you at before? I think if I go back to my site, yeah, we'll have it. Source. CSS. So you go from 800 tags. Okay. Plus. Item can be 100%. I think there we go. So I'm moving from let's just say 0. Nice. So I want to start off screen up here, and I want it to come down across. So let's just go -10 VH, and I want to start off screen. I'm starting 100% minus 500. Let's see. I'm just going to be fudging around with numbers here. There we go. I think this needs to be plus, actually. So I want to start off screen. There we go. And we'll see where it ends. So ideally, I want it to go fully off screen and then come right back. Nice. Get another one. There we go. Yeah, the review height isn't far enough. Let's see if it's not like that. There we go. Ideally, you want to start a little bit higher. So let's say it starts at -50. I don't know exactly what these numbers are. We'll see. That's better. Look at him go. Meow. We're known for a little bit of trolling around here. But look at this bullshit. Isn't that awful? I need to essentially have a top padding for my content here so that this doesn't overflow it. So whatever the header is pushed down by, there we go, that's my height. So I want my content to also be 5px. Well, 5. Nice. That's fine. That's so fun. All right. We have this weird thing there. All right. Okay, so games, home, or no, that's fine. I was going to say we could center this within and not have the padding at all, but I think I want that padding there just in case. No, actually, let's see if we take it out just for now. But then we say in the body double, just for content. Nope, now I'm already doing that. Never mind. How do I bring this down to 4%? I don't want it to be too far. Now if I squeak it in, well, that's probably about mobile. Okay. Ugh. See, that's gross. I think I'm overwriting too much here. Let's get rid of this. Even worse. Right, that shouldn't be showing. Okay, because I can do that with it. HTML, the height should be auto. That's better. I think I need to do the same thing with my header and footer. Set my font size. Now I think I could mix elements along with this. So the headers, but the footer header A, that's what I need. Header A needs to be corrected. That's not terrible. Yeah, it sucks. I don't like mobile development. This is the thing with full stack. Like, I feel pretty confident when it comes to back-end development. When it comes to front-end, I'm just a fish out of water. But the benefit is, with mobile development, I opted for this for my Digital Leech Finder app. If you only develop a website, your website could work for desktop and mobile. If you develop an app, you gotta do two different apps. And I haven't touched Flutter, I haven't touched like React Native. I just have one React app, and that is my front end for everything. Desktop, mobile, Android, or iOS. It can help free up some time of yours. So my Digital Leech Finder, my header, text line, center, justify content should be, well, text line, a vertical line. So if I allegedly do this, didn't do that did nothing. Text line center. Come on. I mean, it's fine. This'll do. That'll do, pig. This is okay. It's very okay. Div content. I'm not seeing, I'm just wondering if the gradient's too subtle. I need to be a little bit more apparent. Forgot about him. Oh, jeez. Color doesn't exist. So I should get rid of you. Go back to GIMP. I think that's right. Let's try the number of the beast here. That's better. slightly too dark. Just freshen up just a skosh. Let's go 7s, see how that looks. Nice. Alright, that's a bit more apparent. There's my boy! Look at him go! Such grace. The fun thing is he should work on any page. That's so stupid. I love him. That's my guy. Would be super cool if this actually worked. Alright. Oh, since I don't think I need to hide this on mobile anymore. Let's see how this looks on mobile. Perfect. That's fine. Nom nom, motherfucker. Don't know why. Oh, it's the padding probably. Nope, it's not the padding. Line height? Oh, it's the line height. Dang. Now let's see how removing the line height looks on. It doesn't do anything. If I get rid of the font size. A little big. Let's try 1.5. That's fine. Don't think I have that. I'm just gonna have the same thing in both places. Let's go to this. Let's say I make font size 1M for the whole thing. That looks nice. Not the worst. Might actually extend that out a bit. I like this video. You should go watch it. Let's say 1.2. That's perfect. And my header is 1.4. I don't know why. Let's just call it that. We'll do the same thing with the footer. Good enough. Yeah. don't know why you don't want to do that. Oh, because I don't have the right, I'm not hitting the right thing. Delete. This is what happens when you name things stupidly. Let's see. No, didn't work. That's not changing anything. Oh well, whatever. I think this is pretty good. I would consider myself happy with this. It works well enough on global, works well enough on mobile. I'm just going to copy this over to the actual site and cheat. Index. And I got my style sheet. Sick. I'm going to go to my actual website. That's not right. That's the back end. Good enough. Good enough. Oh, it makes me laugh. That's my boy. That's my boy. Oh, I wanted to do a quick animate. So, I believe I have fixed these. I'm just going to call these A1 through A4. It's so fun. Like, it's not incredibly professional. I will be the first to admit that. But sometimes you just need a laugh. Enjoy the process wherever you can in order to maintain your sanity. So allegedly, if I just do this, then I say that, and I serve up the page and go to and do shit. Oh, because I made a class, I guess? Hidden. What are you doing? Keyframes. Oh. Good. So, am I on the right thing? Oh, I'm doy. Oh, dummy. Aha! So I'm going to fade this in and then fade the rest. It's just those little doodads and what's-its that you can do to stand out from the crowd that help so immensely. So I'm going to delay 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to make each of these like a 2-second. And see how that looks. It's just finagling. Alright, that didn't do shit. They're all loading in at the same time. That's right. Oh, it's the start to the animation delay. And then I think I need to start opacity at 0. I'm not very good at this. Let's try this. So instead of that, I don't know what this means. Is it wait? No. That isn't right. Interesting. So the animation delay. Let's see all my windows. Oh, well, let's ask the CSS builder. See what. I'm just gonna go arigato, Mr. Roboto. Can you make a series of graph tags fade in one after the other, all starting invisible, and tags slide and fade in when I slide to the bottom and fade in when I do that. I'll start in opacity 0. Okay. So overflow hidden. Will that jack it up though? No? Okay, good. And this is a big thing in the software industry as well. They don't care how you do it, they care that it's done. Script, so add listener. And the reason I'm doing this is, like I said, I have a, oh, what's the phrase? I'm going to be doing work for somebody, and I want to be able to prove that I can do the basic B stuff. And these are all class of fade in, fade slide. Fingers crossed I don't need this, but I can always get it back. Dink, fade slide, and then we'll make a series of these. And I'm, like I said, I'm not even reading what's going on here. I'm just injecting this stuff in. We're going to see what happens. Ooh! Bang, 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 bang! Oh my god. Wow. I didn't need this. I think I do it for mobile. That's a little gross. That's a little gross. I think I need to set these to 1 EM for mobile. Height needs to max contents. Not ideal. Maybe if I shrink this even further. As you can tell, I'm sort of running out of steam here. There we go. That's fine. Woof. That's wrong. So that's the header, and then I want footer and footsie to have it. I'll call that 1 EM. Alright, so that's that. Refresh that. Now I just gotta slow it down a little bit. We're basically there. What if I do that? A little too slow. Hell yeah, brother. A little faster. Now, the last little bit. This needs to float. I think I can just update the Z position. There we go. That's fine. You know what, as kind of cool as that is, I think I just want to make my guy pop up and down on the bottom right hand side of the page. It's a little much. Because like a lot of people use chat windows. It'd be nice to have a sort of chat thing that so I'm gonna call that 50% and then 100%. Background position is that yeah, exactly. Fun little peekaboo. That's just so much more professional. That's crazy. It's crazy how just the littlest things can really bump up your site. So that's 50%, that's 100%. I'm starting at, so it's bottom right. And we'll say this is top, bottom, offset values. So this is still going to be on the right side. And we'll call this bottom 200 pixels right. Alright, so that's what it looks like when it rises up 200 pixels. And we're going to reset back down to bottom left. And I need to have the Z index of my header. I'm just going to set that to 100 so that the header is always on top of everything. My guy is going to start at negative 200. We're going to see how that looks. And then we're going to reset right back down. It's a little much. Let's try 400 so that he always starts off screen. And I don't need to save the web page, I need to save you. And ideally, yep, he sinks below. Sick. I think he only needs to go up 150. And it's a little slow. We go 20. And I'm going to do the same zip zap da bop. And to speed up the load of the script, I'm just going to pop that in there. And the whole thing, I'm just going to I think I'm going to do class? No, I can't. This isn't great either. But I'm getting tired and I want to go eat dinner. Nice. Sick. All right. Once again, I'm going to move all this over to my website. Save it. All right. Cool. I think I'm done here. I'm going to go text that person from that social media agency, and I'm going to go make dinner. I hope you enjoyed the ride. This has been a fun time punching up my portfolio site, Midnight. It's been real talking to you. I hope to be doing this a little bit more. Yeah. I think that about covers it. You have a good rest of your night, and I will, actually, let's just double check if this works before I sign off. Oh, beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, so I am on the job hunt right now, but as long as I'm fun employed, I'm gonna be trying to just stream a little bit more. It's been real talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Check out my vids. Leave me a comment. You can contact me. It's on some of my videos, but contact@sporp.shop. That's probably the best way to get into contact me, or just leave a comment on a video and I'll get to your viewer questions.